Greetings summoners to TLD lore. In this little series I'm just gonna sum up all the important parts in the last lore reading I did, so in this case, Pantheon. It's gonna make him so much more awesome to hear the full story, but if you don't have time or don't want to, this will do. So, enjoy. So in Pantheon's bio there's this boy called Atreus, and Atreus is not really the fastest nor the strongest, but he wants to be a Rakko warrior. He creates a rivalry with Pylus, who is fast and strong and popular. They're both on an expedition where everybody gets killed by barbarians except those two. Then Atreus carries Pylus all the way back home to where they live, which is like 3 days straight. Then when Atreus awake, he's like to the Solari, "Yo, why don't you send the Rahorak to kill these barbarians who's probably gonna fuck up other people's life too?" And they're like, "Nah dude, ain't nobody got time for that, we gotta defend instead." Which Atreus and Pylus like, wait, why? Why? So they're like, okay, you know what? We're just gonna climb the mountain and claim the power of an aspect ourselves. So they gathered a lot of people and they climbed the mountain. All people die except Pylus and Atreus, who reach the top to see absolutely nothing, and then Pylus dies too. Then the heavens open and the Pantheon is like, "Yo Atreus, come on in, I got the power for you need." But then the Pantheon is like, this dude is like really weak and not really fast and not really that strong, so I'm just gonna transfer my being into him and use him as a host. Whoop-de-fucking-do. That's about what happened in the first story. Well, he defends like a relic or a temple, but that's about it. So in the next two color stories kind of showcase how awesome Pantheon is. The first one, the Spear of Targon, he kills like 50 mercenaries by himself because he's just simply that awesome, and the leader who like tries to shoot him. And then he looks back at Mount Targon and is like, oh wait, Aatrox is appearing. And the aspect has this war with the Darkin where they just try to eliminate all Darkins ever. So when you see Aatrox is appearing at Mount Targon, it's like, oh shit, gotta go home and defend Mount Targon. Then when he gets back home, the Unbreakable Spear is starting, and Pantheon and Aatrox is fighting. Then Aatrox ends up killing Pantheon, like straight up impales him with his sword, and the entire star constellation of the Pantheon is wiped away. And like the god, the aspect, whatever you want to call him, is dead because he transferred his entire being into Atreus. And then like Atreus was cast into the furthest corners of his own mind and he was like trapped there. And then he wakes up and is like, oh look, I've been impaled. And he spits in the Darkin face and the Darkin's like, whatever, I'm just gonna let you to die because we know you're gonna bleed out anyway. Which he doesn't. So he goes to a friend's farm and then recovers. Then he hears the barbarians, the one who almost killed him and Pylus, are back in business. And he's like, I'm gonna kill them because I don't like them. So he takes the aspect weapons, aka the shield and the spear, and goes to fight them, even though he shouldn't even be able to walk at this point. But again, he's resilient. So he goes there and he can like see that the barbarians are fighting Aatrox, and he realizes, wait a second, the barbarians are only here because of Aatrox, because they're caught in a battle between higher powers, much like the Rakko was. So he decides to be like, you know what, I'm gonna fight Aatrox. And Aatrox just like, well, you have no power, I'm gonna smack you. And he did get smacked around for quite a bit. His willpower to survive reignites the spear, and he severs the Darkin sword arm, which makes the Darkin die, or well, the host of the Darkin die. And from that day he kind of makes a vow that he's gonna kill all Darkin, all demons, all aspects, because they're no different, they're just there to destroy shit. And then he is kind of the new Pantheon from there on out. That's the two color stories, and then there's the last one. In the next color story, For Those Who Have Fallen, Pantheon travels to Narumazeth in Shurima, where there are other 50 Rahorak warriors, fighting this ascended being. Now, Pantheon kind of jumps in and stuns this being with a thrust of the spear, and then he sees a female Rahorak warrior cradling another warrior who's dead, and her arms are like scorched with the magic of the ascended being. Now, she's like, please be an aspect, please say you can save us. And Atreus is like, not gonna say anything because I'm really just a man who has like cool weapons now. And he says like, just go fight, we need to fight. All the Rahoraks like, oh, we can't kill him, oh no, we're so demoralized, what are we gonna do? And then Atreus jumps in and is like, I'm gonna show you how we're gonna kill this fucker. but then he gets beaten around and he can't really kill it because it's too strong. And then he gets beaten to the ground, his helmet falls off, and the female warrior looks him in the eyes and is like, wait a second, you aren't an Ascendant, you're a human just like me. You fight just because you need to. And she goes like, okay, I'm gonna save this bastard, as the Ascended creature is like charging up one final time to kill him. She goes up next to him with her shield, and Atreus like, what's your name? And she's like, well, my name is Asose, and boom, she's gone. She's wiped away from the earth. Straight up, nothing left, only Atreus' memory about her. And then he's like, oh hell nah, you didn't, I have willpower to live on now. And then he raises up with the power of the aspect, and he yells, Asose! And all the Rohirri's like, oh my god, Asose just died. They yell, Asose! And then they with combined effort kill the Ascended being. And that's about it. Willpower wins the day, I guess. And that Summoners was TLDR lore. This video was mostly me rambling about Pantheon for people who don't want to watch the full video, or for people who just want a summary of it. Trust me, you get so much more out of listening to the full story, because they are amazing. But until next time, enjoy.